Want to turn photos that look like this into this? Photoshop tips on today's Call for Help.
I hope these people can help me with my computer.
Oh.
No! A technician will be with you in 4 hours. 4 hours?
With an upgrade for just $5,000.
What?
The Universal Serial Config Board should be set to ID6.
I need that in plain English. Help!
Leo Laporte at Call for Help. May I help you?
Oh, you guys. Oh, man, I had a rough night. Oh, that red eye. We're going to show you how to turn red eye into blue eyes.
Oh. Welcome to Call for Help. I love that, what Monica did there. That was really creepy. I'm Leo Laporte. This is the show where we help you with your personal confuser. Help you get the most out of it. Meet the helpsters today. Monica Latanwa.
I've been practicing my Leo impression.
You look much better
so good,
as you. I must say, that was pretty funny. And Andy Walker, who is... got his little binoculars. What are you doing there? What are those?
I've got binoculars that actually have a 3-megapixel digital camera built in.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So you could, what? You could be looking through somebody's window and then you take a picture? Is that the idea?
That would be the idea, kind of a spy tech.
Wow.
Kind of thing.
What's the zoom on
Keeping Andy.
It goes up to 22.
Wow.
28 times, something like that.
Wow, that's great.
It looks like a space.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. From Celestron, those are the folks that make the very popular consumer astronomy telescopes.
Yeah. And the cool thing about this, of course, is once upon a time these were thousands of dollars, and now they're a couple $100.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
so
that's really neat.
Super affordable.
That's fun to play with. And I love the shirt. Yeah, look at this shirt he's got. Now, have you saved that since you were 2 or what?
No, I found this really cool website called 80stees.com.
Work for peanuts. Yeah. For people too young to remember, you don't remember Jimmy Carter probably. He was the president of the United States in the 70s, 76 through 80.
I became sentient at around the time that Jimmy Carter came.
Became sentient. Actually, he lost that election to Ronald Reagan.
Yes, he did, and that was during the hostage crisis, too.
Yeah, and the hostage... Well, let's not go into U.S. history. We can stop right now. But we are going to do a good show for you today. We're going to talk about defragging your hard drive. I have tried for years to explain what's going on when you defrag. Andy has finally come up with the ultimate way to explain hard drive optimization, fragmentation, defragmentation, what it means, how it works. You're going to love this. Plus, we've got a new Photoshop expert. That's what's with all the red eye and stuff. Greg Danbrook is here. He's going to show you some great tips for fixing your home photos. And Mon has her monster travel site. It's with the no-wears.
Yeah.
The no-wears.
Which you could have used when you first got here.
I could have. I didn't know where I was. But now I do. Hey, let's get our first caller of the day on the air.
Yes, we have Vince from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
Prince Albert, let me make the walk past the lovely Basil.
Hey,
good
Leo.
to see you. Welcome to the show. Hey, how are you? It's what's your name again? Vince? Is it Vince?
It's Vince.
Hey, Vince.
Hello.
From Saskatchewan. Are we right?
You're right.
I do whatever what does the rest of your T-shirt say?
I do whatever my Rice Krispies tell me to.
Oh, that's scary. That's really scary. Do you snap, crackle, and pop?
All of the above.
And what's that behind you? It looks like model cars or something.
Yeah, it's Hot Wheels cars.
You collect Hot Wheels?
An unfortunate habit, yeah.
Wow. How long have you been doing that?
Not long.
Not long?
Not long.
You didn't start as a little one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
How many does he have?
Yeah, how many do you have, Monica?
I don't know. There's about 180 there.
Holy moly. You got kids, Vince?
Nope. I'm the only kid around.
So nobody's messing with your Hot Wheels? Because the minute you have kids, forget it.
That's right.
They're all off the wall, on the ground, in the dirt, in the mud, and your collection is toys.
Yeah.
Are Hot Wheels hot? I mean, is this like you go on eBay and you spend a lot of money on these things now?
I don't do that. I just kind of do it for my own own fun.
Oh, that's fun.
He gets them off his Rice Krispies.
Yeah, you get them on Rice Krispies box. What can I do for you today, Vince? Welcome to the show, and what can I do for you?
I'm a new user to Firefox.
Yes.
Liking it a lot. But I also, my wife kind of doesn't switch over to it. She has a website she goes to a lot. And just one of the sites she's on has a little option in the forums to add glow to your username. You collect points and you can add glow as an option, but it won't show on Firefox.
I see what you're saying. So I'm here on the forum, you told us it was fitatanisize.com, is that right?
Yes.
And it's using vBulletin, which is actually a very popular forum software. And I see here that you look at somebody's name and it's got glow on it, and that's based on how much time they've spent or how many posts they've made, things like that?
Yeah, they earn points or money by that, and then they can purchase the glow as an option.
You can purchase it?
Yeah.
So, well, naturally, she wants her glow. She's probably spent a lot of money on glow. And let's see, I'm going to go to the same forum on Firefox. You know, I guess the question is, how are they making the glow? Mm-hmm. You know, the reason that we recommend Firefox is precisely because it's not as powerful as Internet Explorer. Let me see if there's any glow. Well, it's glowing, but what do you mean? Is it supposed to throb or pulse or something like that?
No, it's just supposed to display the glow. It's kind of a big glow. I guess I don't have it up here.
Yeah, maybe I'm not getting a big enough. Maybe my glow, because it looks the same to me. Well, maybe that's because I'm in IE all still. Here, wait a minute. Let me go to Firefox. That would explain it. Let's go to the same site of Fire. Oh yeah, there's no glow.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. Let me put these side by side. That's really interesting. So here is the Internet Explorer one, and here is a Firefox one. It seems like a simple thing, but it's not there. Now, there's a couple of possibilities, but let me say this. The reason we recommend Firefox, free from Mozilla.org, over Internet Explorer is precisely because it's less powerful. The problem with Internet Explorer is Microsoft made it too good. They listened to people who said, I want a website to have all this power. I want a website to be able to do anything on my computer that a program can do. Well, that's wonderful if the website is Microsoft.com or, PCPitstop.com or antivirus.com, where they're using that capability for good. But what if you go to Hacker.com? Well, they have that same capability, and they could use it for evil. They can use that capability of being really a program on your system to mess you up. And the biggest problem right now is browser hijacking. So that's the one that's really prompted me to say, stop using Internet Explorer. The United States Department of Homeland Security, their division, the Computer Emergency Response Team division, has actually recommended that people abandon Internet Explorer. The U.S. government says don't use Explorer because it's not safe. It just really opens up your computer to hackers. So Firefox, yes, good because it doesn't do as much. Now, this glow seems like a minor thing. I don't know how vBulletin is supporting this glow. It's probably a browser extension that is non-standard. That would be my guess. I'd have to look at the source code. There's no way, though, that you could say to your wife, hey, here's how we get the glow. Because it's something that the programmer of vBulletin did.
Okay.
So if the glow is that important to her, she's going to have to keep using Internet Explorer. The unfortunate thing is she's also going to be exposed to a lot of spyware and stuff. I'm going to recommend that she get a program. If you're going to keep using Internet Explorer, there's a couple of things I would do. There's a program I would recommend called Spyware Blaster.
Okay.
That changes the behavior of ActiveX. Let me just see if I can find it. I think I got it from spywareinfo.com. Spyware Blaster. I'll just do a Google search for it. What it does is it changes how ActiveX behaves in Internet Explorer and makes it a little bit safer. It's from javacoolsoftware.com. Makes it a little bit safer to use Internet Explorer. At least you're not open to browser hijacking. So this is free. I would recommend you download it. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's javacoolsoftware.com. At least do that. Install that on Internet Explorer. If you really want to be safe in Internet Explorer, you can still use it and be absolutely as safe as anything else, but it's kind of a pain in the behind, because what you got to do is change the security level on Internet Explorer to high. You go to you go to default level and you slide this slider all the way up to high. What that will do is break a lot of sites, and you'll have to add the sites that no longer work to your trusted sites. So, for instance, right away you'd want to say, for instance, add Microsoft.com so that Windows Update would start working again. Things like that. So that's if you really wanted. Now, by adding that, I'm saying the security model on Microsoft.com is low, but on the rest of the internet, it's high. Do you understand what I'm saying there, Vince?
Yep.
Yeah, and so that's another way to continue to use Internet Explorer safely. Most people don't do that because if you do that, then all of a sudden half the sites you go, I can't work anymore. But what you're doing is you're dumbing down Internet Explorer to be safe, and then you're making it safe for trusted sites only.
All right.
And you're manually adding to those trusted sites. You're saying, okay, you can have all the power you want on trusted sites, but just not on the internet as a whole. So that's another way to do it. So in other words, if she really has to have the glow, run Spyware Blaster, turn your security on up to high, and cross your fingers. Okay, Vince?
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for the call.
Thanks.
Take care. Most of the time we recommend it's just easier to go use Firefox. And you're not going to get rid of Internet Explorer. Keep using it for the sites that need it. But use Firefox the rest of the time. Coming up, defragging your hard drive. Andy's going to show you how to do it. When Call for Help continues, stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. Defragmentation. It's a problem that happens on Windows all the time. Every version of Windows since Windows 98 has had or actually 95 has had a defrag tool. People even often go out and buy special defragmentation tools. And sometimes people recommend you defrag every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every 5 days, every 5 years. And there seems to be a lot of confusion about it. Well, the problem is people never really understand what fragmentation is. So I thought Andy could give us a little demonstration. Now, Andy, I've used everything from a library of books to explain this, to pizza pies, to cheese. And I have yet to find the perfect. I have. I've used cheese. Oh, no, you don't want to know. I did this on Call for Help many years ago. It was when Patrick Norton was first starting on Tech TV way back when. And I remember I was doing the demo with the cheese and slicing it and writing on the cheese and stuff. And I'm looking in the back at Patrick. You know, about 20 minutes into the demo, I'm breaking out in a sweat because it's not going well, and Patrick's in the back on. And that's when I knew it was not working. But this is going to work!
This is going to work.
So first of all, what is defragmentation?
Defragmenting is kind of like organizing your closet from a computer perspective.
Ah, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Like, imagine if there's somebody who's sitting in your closet all the time, sorting stuff as you chuck stuff in.
Right.
Well, if that person's not there, stuff's going to pile up and get really confusing.
My closet, exactly.
Right.
And I can't find my shoes because my left shoe is at one end and my right shoe is at the other end, and I have to dig through stuff to find it.
Right.
So that's an example of a fragmented closet. What does it look like on a hard drive?
On a hard drive, the hard drive is full of little, I don't know, pockets, boxes. We call them clusters.
Clusters, right.
Which is where little bits of data go.
So this is in effect a hard drive here, right?
Yeah, and actually it's not far off the way defrag kind of looks. When you see it on your computer, and I'll
it
show
looks
you
like that. Yeah, you're right. You get
little boxes, right?
Let's show it to the right. Is this the camera you want to have it on here? All right. Yeah. Oh no, that's the camera.
There we go. On that one.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So let's imagine each one of these is a cluster on the computer.
Yeah.
And let's say we have a file called Leo.
Okay.
Oh, there we are. Leo, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to save that file to the computer, and it's going to go in this nice little space here.
Look at that.
Hooray for us.
All of Leo's together, the left and right shoes right next to each other.
Right.
L-E-O.
Okay, but let's say, we get tired of Leo. Leo's needs to be deleted, so let's delete Leo.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That happens, though. You always are adding and deleting files.
You're adding and deleting files all the time. And we're going to add a larger file.
And along comes Andy.
Called Andy.
Andy's bigger than Leo.
And so we're going to stick Andy in the same hole, but wait a second.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit. So
only and fits.
So the computer goes, okay, let's put it in a spare spot over here.
All right, now we have a fragmented file.
Now we have a fragmented file because the computer's going to read. It's going to go read Andy, and then it's going to go, oh, wait a second, there's more. Let's go all the way over here. Well, that from computer terms, doesn't take very long. It's a split second. But do that over and over again, and your file access is going to take a long, long time.
So you're doing unnecessary movement over the disk drive.
That's right. So all of a sudden your files are stored in pieces all over the place.
Okay.
So when we defragment, what happens is we go back and we find all the files and we put them all in the,
in order.
In order, sort of thing. Just like organizing our closet.
Well, let's see how you do that. That makes perfect sense. Let's see how you do it on the computer.
So we're going to go to Start. And we're going to click on All Programs.
This is cool.
And I'm going to take you into...
Where'd you get this?
Oh, I got it from Mastermind. It's an educational toy store, my favorite store. Going to click on Accessories.
Okay.
And we're going to go down to System Tools, which is one of my favorite folders on Windows XP because it's got lots of cool stuff in it.
Good stuff in there.
And there, see, it says Defragmented. So let's click on that.
Okay.
And we're going to open that up. Now, what you're going to see is all the different hard drives and partitions, which is pieces of hard drives on your system. And we're going to defragment. You should probably, as a rule, defragment C because that's what gets most use.
Yeah. I recommend people defragment maybe every few months. The only time you want to defragment an awful lot is if you're doing a lot of video editing where you have big files that you need to save. If those get fragmented, sometimes you can't digitize them fast enough.
Right.
So it's good to either use an empty hard drive or a nicely defragmented.
But I think if you touch your computer pretty much every day, every month or so, you have a look. You can actually push this Analyze button. I'm going to
see how bad
Analyze button here.
Yeah. It can make a big difference if your drive is highly fragmented. Right. But I think people sometimes get crazy and they defragment all the time.
It's not the panacea. It's not going to fix all your problems. But see, here I've got it says, it gives me a report, and it says, it recommends you should defragment this volume because it's been used a lot. So if I click defragment, it's going to do its thing. It's going to start moving those little blocks around that I showed you.
Now, you can buy third-party defragmenters. Norton Utilities comes with a defragmenter. There's Disk Keeper.
Yes.
Are they better somehow than the one that comes with Windows?
You know, I've never really seen an appreciable difference.
Okay.
They get, public relations people call me all the time, say, hey, we have the best defragger on the market.
Big deal.
Who cares?
It's not
built into
brain
Windows.
surgery.
No, exactly.
I guess Disk Keeper and programs like that sit in the background and watch all the time.
I guess.
The other thing I've heard people say is that XP doesn't need a defragmentor. It doesn't get as... That's not true, is
That's
it?
not true. I mean, it gets disorganized by... It's like anybody's closet gets disorganized unless you... One other thing I wanted to mention before we go, though, is sometimes defragmenter doesn't work because it gets bunged up by an antivirus program.
Too many things are running.
Too many things running. So turn everything off that you can. And you're down here in the system tray.
Close all those.
Close everything that you possibly can. Because defragment may run and stall.
If anything else accesses the hard drive during a defragmentation, it has to start over.
It gets confused. Yeah. So to do it in safe mode, right? So restart your machine.
Then nothing's running.
And when nothing's running, and that's a great way to get it solved. Do it overnight. That sort of thing.
Good advice. I like that. Forget the cheese. We've got a kid's toy to explain. For more information on how to defrag your hard drive and an article Andy has written on what happens when that defrag stalls and the ways to get around it, callforhelptv.com. That's the place to go. Are you ready? It's time for our daily quiz. What does VoIP stand for? That's our question of the day today. VoIP, sometimes they call it. Is it Voice over Internet Protocol? Velocity over International Property? That would be a jet airplane problem. Vote on internal phone answers? Or a new model of a car? Give us the best guess here. We'll talk about it a little bit later on as Call for Help continues. Welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte here. Should we take another caller, Monica? And then we're going to do your free file today. You got a fun one for us, yeah?
Yeah, I got a fun one for you after the call. So.
Oh, you want to tell us anything about it? A little tease? Anything? Is it a secret? Is it a surprise?
It's a secret.
Okay.
Something to look forward to. After your call from Andrew. Actually, it's a Netcam call, so he's from London, Ontario.
Another Netcam call. Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Good to see you. Oh, you look like you're in a dark and scary room today. Did you close all the shades? So nobody.
No, it's just the basement.
No, oh, you're in the basement. Oh, that's cool. Is this kind of where you hang out?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, the computers are down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, what can I? By the way, Andrew, shouldn't you be in school right about now?
Summertime.
It's still summertime?
Yep.
Another week.
Boy, you guys have a long summertime.
Labor Day.
What can I do for you today, Andrew?
A few weeks ago, I started up my computer, and I noticed there's a search assistant thing on the start bar.
Oh.
And I
Not
ran
180
search and destroy, but it didn't get rid of it.
Not 180 search assistant.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's I don't want to get sued or anything. What are the libel laws in Canada like?
Oh, we don't have any.
Oh, good. Because you can get in trouble. There are companies that if you say this program is spyware, they'll come after you. They'll sue you. And I don't know if 180 Search Assistant is one of them or not, but I'm not going to say they're spyware. They're adware. Some people call it spyware. Basically, the idea is they want to get on your system so you can monitor. They can monitor what you're doing. Now they say they're doing it because then that way they can make so much of more of a wonderful product for you. Symantec calls them adware. Spybot calls it adware. Other people use worse names for it. Now, the first thing you do is go to 180searchassistant.com. That's the company that makes this. In fact, let's read up on what 180searchassistant.com says that Search Assistant is for. It's a permission-based, read that as code word when they say permission-based. That means you're letting them do this. Search Assistant application. I'm going to make this, I'm an Internet Explorer. No wonder it's so tiny. Let me go to Firefox. You can't read this, can you? Search Assistant is a permission-based 100 application, I should say, that provides you access. I'm going to make this very big. Let's make this as big as we can. Big, 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 big. Watch them when everybody can read. Oh, yeah. See, they don't like it big. They want to make it small so you can't read it. That provides you access to a wide range of websites, application information. Isn't that nice of them? That's so nice of them. 180 Search Assistant is a small application that is downloaded to your computer. How did it get on your computer?
I don't know. It was just there.
It's downloaded. They don't mention how. And runs in the background looking to show websites with information, offers, and products that match keywords you are looking for when either shopping or searching online. Can I translate? We watch what you do when you're online, and we try to show you ads that tie into it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to do that.
Exactly.
So I'm going to click the uninstall button at 180searchassistant.com. We are sorry that you are thinking about uninstalling 180 Search Assistant. In case you did not realize it, 180 Search Assistant is a permission-based search assistant application. On and on and on. They do say that you should be able to do it in ad remove programs. Have you gone to ad remove programs?
I did, yeah.
And did you see anything that says 180 Search Assistant?
Yeah, I removed it, but it just appears every time I restart.
Now, the question is, did the behavior reappear, or did it just show up again in Spybot?
It reappeared on the start bar.
Oh, it came back?
Yeah.
Well, gee, their uninstall doesn't work, does it?
No.
Man alive. So here's what you do when you have, it's really kind of sad. I guess what you do when you have something like this, I call it a browser hijacker. And you should read all about it on their page, is do a Google search for 180 Search Assistant.
Okay.
Or whatever it is. I'm going to give you kind of the more general answer, but whatever it is that you find as spyware, and you will undoubtedly find somebody who has a removal page, because this stuff is so common. The problem with doing it in Spybot is these programs, as you can see, they're really persistent. They don't want you to remove them.
Yeah.
Okay? And so they do all sorts of things. So what I would just do is suggest going to Google and look at some of these removal techniques. Unfortunately, you're going to have to use manual removal. This is not unusual with browser hijackers.
Okay.
Among other things, they'll use random file names. Each time they install, they'll use a different file name so that Spybot doesn't know what to remove, right?
Yep.
The only person that can remove it is itself, and apparently it's not doing it. It won't do it for you. So go and do a Google search on 180 Search Assistant, and you will find, I promise you, specific removal instructions.
Okay.
And that's true for any of these browser hijackers. They're just nasty. And Spybot and Adaware have a hard time removing them for that reason. Hey, good luck. Is this your machine or your folks' machine? Or?
It's the family machine.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's good of you to be the tech guy for the family.
Okay.
All right, Andrew. Take care.
Good luck with the new show.
Thank you. Good luck with school.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Bye.
He says school hasn't started yet. All right. Monica's been raving about today's free file. Let's walk on over and see what Monica's up to. Basil's in a nice place. Hey, Monica, how are you?
Hi, Leo. I gotta say, today's free file is so far my favorite free file. Yeah.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's see.
Well, I mean, as you know, I like playing games.
Yeah.
And so I found this free file called Game Maker.
Game Maker.
So you can make games without having to know code, because I know nothing about codes.
Can you? I mean, can somebody who doesn't know anything?
I don't know anything.
Did you make a game?
And I did something really quick just to show you.
Right.
And I did it in about 10 minutes.
So what kind of games can you make?
Two-dimensional games.
Okay.
So they're not
like Pac-Man kind of games?
Yeah, those kind of games. So first, let me show you what I did.
Okay.
So this is what it looks like.
This is the Game Maker application.
Maker.
So you download an application to do this?
Yeah. And you can get it at GameMaker.com, or for more information, you can go to our website. Yep. So let me just show you a little demo what I've put together. Just something
hot
quick.
Game.
It's called Monster Ball.
Oh, I like it.
So
you did this in 10 minutes?
I just did this in 10 minutes. So
wow, that's pretty cool. How do you play
I'm trying to hit the.
Oh, you're changing directions by clicking it?
Yeah. Oh. So if you click on the balls,
look at that. So it's like Breakout,
directions.
but it's like super powerful.
Yeah, and notice that the score is adding up as it hits the.
So you'll need to click that ball again to get that ghost. It's hard. It's moving fast.
So you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
So that's a game, and so the idea it's a drag and drop kind of program, and first you create sprites, which are the little objects like the ghosts and the balls and the walls, and then you can add sound to it, and there's also objects. So, and the whole game really revolves around the objects and what you do. So, for instance, object ball. this is what happens upon creation. This is the action that would happen.
neat.
So
This
it
would
sits
really
there.
teach you programming.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it, and it's so easy to understand. And there's a whole lot more options here, of course.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. So you know,
It's actually object-oriented programming. I
Yeah.
guess if you did this, a kid did this, they would kind of get a good idea of what programming is involved.
exactly. And if you go to the website, there's more objects and sprites that you can download, and there are games on the website that you can check out
Other
that
people have
have
written.
And so
it's
the
free.
program is free.
That's
I
so
know,
cool.
it's free. Now, of course, you can register it, and there's a registration fee, which is about $18 American.
Some of these
and
games
you
look
get
pretty
like more advanced options.
Yeah.
But yeah, these games are amazing, and so I'm actually planning on creating a more advanced game, not like
Will
that
you?
dinky one.
Can you put Andy and me in it?
Sure.
I was
Sure. Yeah.
Free
so
file a
maybe,
day.
in future shows, I'll keep you updated on my progress.
Monica's Game Maker
Game
at
Maker.
GameMaker.com or go to callforhelptv.com
Yeah.
for all of our free files of the day. Still to come, a real honest-to-goodness Photoshop expert made in Canada. Greg Danbrook is going to join us to help us build better digital pictures. You
Come on
stay
over.
right here. Hey, Greg, it's good to see you. Nice to meet you. Welcome. So what's your background? Welcome back to Call for Help. You need some tips on improving the quality of your digital endeavors at home, from fixing red eye, fairly basic, to unsharp mask, which sharpens things, which confuses me endlessly, to making a mom look more like she did in high school. We've got our Photoshop expert, Greg Danbrook, here. Welcome to the show. First time you've been on the show. Let's introduce people to you a little bit. You do this professionally.
I do. Yeah.
For a photographer?
I work with a photographer, Dave Sterrett, and I do a lot of stuff on the side for fashion photographers, makeup artists.
Well, wait a minute. Now, are you implying that in a fashion shoot they might want to retouch the model a little bit to make her look better?
It's been known to happen.
Really?
Yes. A lot of them look fine as they are, but a little bit tweaking here and there.
A little here and there doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt.
So we're going to have the secret of the high fashion models here.
Yes, and we'll be working on a picture of Andy.
Well, that should. If we can make Andy look like a high fashion model, we're in good shape. Let's start with. Should we start with that? What tip do you want to start with first? Okay.
The first thing I usually do when I'm working on an image, I work on lightening shadows under eyes, around the corners of the eyes, around the nose.
We work Andy pretty hard. He has some shadows under his eyes. Now, this is in Photoshop CS, the latest version of Photoshop.
Yeah.
But many of these techniques would even work in Photoshop.
They carry right through. I was working in Photoshop 3. I started in 2.5.
Wow.
So it's all going to work.
A lot of these techniques still work.
Yeah. First thing I do is I duplicate the layer. Just so if you really mess it up, you can go back.
Can you show us how you did that one more time, just because I think people really need to see that.
Yeah.
You just drag it down there.
Yeah, I've got this layer here called Original Image.
Yeah.
Drag it onto this duplicate layer icon, and now we've got Original Image Copy. And I work on that.
So if you can always go back to the original.
I can always go back. If I really, really, really mess it up, I just throw that out and start again.
Great.
Okay, so when I'm lightening the bags under the eyes, I start with the rubber stamp tool. Use about 50%. Zoom in.
So you're zooming in. Show the rubber stamp tool. Show us where that is again on the.
It's this guy right here.
It's easy. It's the rubber stamp.
Yep.
Okay. What does that do?
What it does, it takes a copy of where you click from. If you hold on the Option key, you see you get a bullseye.
So that's going to be your source.
Yeah,
color.
that's where you're cloning from.
Okay.
A good way of showing that is, say we click on the eye with the Option key, we let go. Wherever we click next,
we get an eye.
We get an eye.
I love it. Well, we just learned how to give Andy a third eye. What else can we do? We can get rid of the bags here?
We can get rid of the bags. So I take around 50% opacity. Type 5 on the keyboard gets you to 50%. Which is
so by doing that, you're not going to be coloring in. You're going to be.
You're not going to be coloring. You're going to do it about half level.
Okay.
You don't want to take the whole thing, otherwise it would just look a little bit weird.
Right.
So
his
we'll
cheek
option
would
click on
appear where his eye was.
Exactly. We're taking the cheek, option clicking down here, moving up to the bag, and just one stroke across, and you can see how it goes.
Holy moly! That's better than a facelift.
And I've got a version here where I've done the whole thing. So you can see I've done around the chin, up under the eyes. I've taken out some of the extra hairs.
What hair?
The gel.
He looks like like 10 years younger. That's amazing. That's amazing.
And then the next thing I do, sometimes I'll run a little bit of a liquefy filter on it. Another show
Really?
we'll do a little more in depth on another show. But this one here, just tweak up around the chin. pull the nose and mouth back into place.
So he's turning on and off the picture here.
Yeah, so you can see this is before.
Actually, if you go back to the full picture, you'll see that, yeah. Before and after.
So this
That's
is,
amazing.
and then
That's really amazing.
often what I'll do, there's a little bit of a secret here, you enlarge the eyes on the model, about 10% or so, and it just gives them a little bit more of an attentive kind of look.
Have you done that to Andy? Because he does look attentive.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks weird. but if you don't know the person, it makes him look...
Yeah, exactly. Even if you do, and you do it subtly...
The full eye or just the pupil?
The whole thing. I'll show you how to do that. I take the lasso tool, which is
This is a great technique.
the rope up here.
Okay.
Do a little infinity loop around the eyes.
All right. So little raccoon eyes there.
Little raccoon eyes. And you duplicate it to a new layer. Command J does that, or you can copy and paste into a new layer.
So we have an eye layer, just the eyes.
Yep, just the eyes. And I'll show you what it looks like right there. That's just the eyes.
Okay.
Now we edit, transform, scale, and we just pull them up a little bit, just subtly.
Oh, interesting.
Hit return.
Now everything's bigger, but how? So
Everything's
we can fix
bigger,
that.
and we've got a harsh line around the edge. So what we do is we add a layer mask. So layer, add layer mask, reveal all. We grab an airbrush.
You're going to get the excess out, basically.
We're going to get the excess out. So we grab a fairly soft
We figured out how to
airbrush.
do this actually by hand. Andy doesn't even look like you when you compare the two.
And then we just paint around there to get rid of the harsh
So his eyes are
edges.
slightly bigger.
Slightly bigger, not much. You don't want to do it too much or they'll start to look a little googly-eyed and freaky.
A little alien, yeah.
So...
Now this isn't liquefied. This is just...
This isn't liquefied.
Okay, we'll do that another time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so
Very
there's
cool.
the before, after.
Wow. It's subtle, but it's there. You know, I have to say I like him better, the real Andy, a little bit better.
The tired Andy better.
That's what I looked like before I started this job.
Look at that. We just did a photo facelift. Hey, that's very cool, Greg. Thank you very much. We're going to have Greg come back every week and show us more of that. For more Photoshop fun, be sure to check out our website, callforhelptv.com. And, of course, for more about Greg, our Photoshop expert with the Canadian Photographic Centre, you check out his website, which is CanadianPhotographicCentre.com. All right? Hey, thank you. That's Centre, C-E-N-T-R-E, for our American viewers who don't know how to spell. More phone calls to come. Stick around. Call for Help continues right after this. That is really cool. See,
it's fun.
As it turns out, we only got one. Welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte. Let's get another call for help. You got anybody for me, Mon?
Our next
Monster?
lucky caller is Jerome from North Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Wow. Hey, Jerome, how are you?
I'm doing good today, Leo.
How are things in North Sydney?
Nice and cloudy.
Is it? After a long, hot summer, nice and cloudy is okay. Does it ever get hot in Nova Scotia?
Oh, yeah, it gets high 20s.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's good. Well, what can I do for you today?
Leo, every time I restart my computer, I get a pop-up for logging in.
Right.
It asks me for my name and password.
Right.
I've tried to remove it and just get to stop working, but it just keeps coming up.
Now, the answer to this depends on the version of Windows you're using. What version of Windows are you using?
XP.
XP, okay. In the older versions of Windows, there was this kind of rigmarole that you'd have to go through to eliminate the login. XP's pretty serious about that login, but you can turn it off, but you have to know a secret command. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This is an undocumented, it must be documented somewhere, but it's not obvious. It's not in the menu. We're going to get our run window open here. You know, that's the run, start run, so that we can run a command line. And the command line is actually a control panel that has no icon, doesn't show up in your control panel, called user passwords 2. So you're going to type control user passwords 2. You got it? That's control, and the next word is user passwords with the number 2 following it.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to click OK now, and what that's going to do is open up this hidden control panel called user accounts. This is not something that shows up anywhere, but it allows you to do a lot of really useful things. And the one thing that you want to do is uncheck this box that says users must enter a username and password to use this computer. You just uncheck that. Okay? I know. And then when you click OK, it's going to say, okay, well, who do you want to be the user that logs in all the time? And you would then type in whichever username and password you wanted to use there.
Okay, then.
And from then on, it's just going to automatically log in. But why Microsoft hides this in this weird control panel is beyond me. They just don't want you to know. Okay, Jerome?
Okay, thank you very much, Leo.
Yeah, easy as pie. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Take care.
You're welcome.
One more chance to take our little quiz of the day here. We want to know what VoIP, V-O-I-P, stands for. Maybe that lowercase o will help you a little bit. Is it Voice over Internet Protocol? Velocity over International Property? Vote on internal phone answer? Or a new car model? Get to the website, give us your answer. We're going to talk about it in just a little bit when Call for Help continues. Stay right here. Welcome back to Call for Help. Before the break, we asked you what VoIP stands for. It is Voice over Internet Protocol. Internet telephony. It's the use of your broadband connection for your phone. In the hotel this morning, there was a woman sitting in the lobby with her laptop and headphones on, talking animatedly into the laptop in Chinese. I thought, what's she doing? And I realized, of course, she's using the hotel's wireless connection in the lobby, and she's calling home over VoIP, over Voice over Internet Protocol.
Cool.
And it's a free phone call to China. I mean, that's really amazing. People are using it more and more now. And of course, there are a lot of commercial services using it. I use Vonage. You use Lingo? Is that what you use?
No, I use some Primus, some local Canadian thing.
A lot of different companies doing it. AT&T's doing it now in the States, the big telco. It's funny that for years people said, oh, AT&T will never lose money because they own the long-distance phone calls. That's billions of dollars a year. And, of course, in the last few years, it's been going way, way down. Yeah. AT&T said, maybe we ought to get in this internet telephony thing. Hey, speaking of traveling all over the world, maybe Chicago, you want to know where the best places are to go, to eat, to drink, to be merry? Well, you could go to the official Chicago website for tourists, or you can get information from locals who really know what's going on. Yeah. Monica has the insight. What's the story?
Well, it's called Metroblogging. So if you go to metroblogging.com, well, it's a website where the locals from these major cities will just blog, like,
what's
events
cool,
and things.
So it's almost like having a friend that you can talk to in that city.
Exactly. And it's really... I'm really into it, actually.
So let's see, all the towns in the world?
Yeah. And you know what, actually what they said, and it's true, it's less calendar listings and more friendly advice.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So metroblogging.com, so here's all the major cities that they have so far.
Now, are these people blogging on the Metroblogging site, or is it aggregating other people's blogs? Is it like just a listing of other people's blogs?
No, it's right there on the site.
So these are people who are actually participating on Metroblogging.
Yep. And here, let me show you, where am I here? Let's go to the bloggers. So these are the major cities, okay? And then let me just show you how many bloggers there actually are.
So if you live in a town and you want to kind of share, look at this.
So you got all these people from Atlanta.
Hey, how about Barcelona? I'm going to Barcelona next week. Do they have Spain?
No, they don't have that yet.
Not yet.
And coming soon, let's see if that's there.
Why is Vienna so popular? This must have started in Vienna. Coming soon, Dublin, Istanbul, Melbourne, Paris,
Toronto,
and Tokyo. Wow.
Yeah. So if let's say, okay, let's check out the Vienna site.
Let's.
Okay, so this
one
is
it English?
Some of them are, and then the others are in Italian, but then you can just translate them.
Right.
Yeah, so this guy's talking about a Volkswagenfest and...
Wow,
yeah,
very cool.
But just neat little events that you probably wouldn't find on the official, city site.
Well, more than just the event, it's all kind of a review, like
and say, this is great, I go here all the time, there's a good cafe around the corner of so-and-so, and
you probably could contact these people and say, hey, I'm coming to town. Would you like to meet at your favorite cafe?
Exactly.
I'll buy you a Gewürztraminer, or whatever it is they drink in Vienna.
Vienna sausage.
I'll buy you a Vienna sausage. Very cool. You're right out of the tin. So that's called, what is it?
Metroblogging.com.
Very cool.
Yeah, and there's one here in San Francisco.
Oh, I'll have to check it out, see if it's accurate.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about San Francisco. And maybe you guys could work on that Toronto Metroblog.
That'd be cool.
Want to know more about it? Where do you go?
Callforhelptv.com.
That's the place. Now, let's get another caller on the air.
Oh, okay. We've got Herb from Glycan, Alberta.
Herb or Herb?
Herb or Herb?
Herb.
Sorry.
Hello,
Sorry,
Herb.
Herb.
Hi, Leo.
Basil? Basil or Basil? Basil. See, he says it like basil, like not like an herb, and you say it like herb, not like an herb. How you doing, Herb?
Just fine.
Welcome.
Well, good to have you back.
Yay!
I missed you while you were gone off the air.
I am so glad to be back, and I thank all my friends in Canada who wrote and begged and pleaded and said, bring back Leo, because it's so great to be back.
Yeah, well, we missed you when you left Screensavers, and then on Call for Help went. It was a real blow. I'm
making lemonade out of that lemon. What can I do for you, Herb?
Well, I've got a question about
It scared Zdenko there. I threw the lemon at him. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I've got a question about installing XP on a serial drive. I purchased a 200 gig serial drive.
Oh, a SATA, serial ATA drive?
A serial ATA.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
And it's on a MSI motherboard. The Promise controller is on there for RAID and so forth. But to install the XP, how do I manage to install the XP now?
Of course.
Since it doesn't need the driver. I got to have the driver. How do I get the driver on in order to be able to? Because the
sure, I understand. It doesn't know. It doesn't. SATA wasn't around.
Recognize it.
Yeah. So here's the thing: when you first put in the XP install disk, you may miss this. Right at the bottom of the screen, it says press F6 to add drivers, to install new drivers. So what you'll need to do is with that Promise card or with the motherboard, since it was built into the motherboard, it probably came with the motherboard.
Right, it did.
There will be a driver for the hard drive, for a serial ATA. So it's got to be on a floppy or a CD. It can't be on the hard drive because obviously the XP can't read the hard drive yet.
Yeah, it's on a floppy.
It's on a floppy. Perfect. So what you do is when you get to that point, you'll see, press F6. It'll say, okay, fine. It'll keep on going. It'll start installing its drivers. And a little later, it'll say, okay, I'm ready now. Put that floppy in. And let me install the driver. At that point, you'll put the floppy in, it'll install the driver for the serial ATA drive, and from then on, it'll be just as if Windows knew all along. It has to do this because if you think about it, when they designed XP, they couldn't possibly know about all the potential kinds of hard drives and hardware that you could be connecting to it. So in order for this to work, they had to have a mechanism for you adding drivers, and that's how they do it. So just watch when you're doing the install. It'll still be on the blue screen part, and it'll say press F6 to add.
It won't make any difference that the disk that I have, the XP disk, was an upgrade disk. I mean, you got to do all that preparation stuff.
No, it won't matter. The upgrade disk, if it's an upgrade from an earlier version of Windows, will need to be able to see that earlier version of Windows, either on your hard drive or it'll ask you for the CD.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's actually a very easy thing to do, and I know all about it because I've had exactly the same issue back when the Ultra DMA drives came out. Same problem with the Windows 2000. I couldn't see them.
I knew you were the one to talk to because I knew you had put serial drives on there a while back. So
and I love mine. Yeah, I do. I have a Raptor serial drive, a 10,000 RPM SATA.
Yeah, I didn't get one of those.
Oh, yeah, they were outrageously expensive. I mean, it's just like $200-something bucks for 76 gigabytes. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but you know me. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, thanks, Herb.
I appreciate your help.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. Say hi to Peaches for me. Stick around, folks. When we come back, I'm going to tell you how you can contact us. Call for help. Continue right after these messages. Go ahead. Throw the lemon at me. I know you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead. Welcome back to Call for Help. Leo Laporte here. That was fun with Greg Danbrook. He's great.
He is great.
Our Photoshop guy. He will be back next week with more Photoshop for you.
Yeah.
Some great tips. We're going to try him every week, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's going to be here for 4 segments, and I think he should fix me up again.
Once a week for fix you up again?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Give me a new hairdo.
No. This time it's my bags, baby. Yeah. We were talking earlier about Firefox and Internet Explorer and making Internet Explorer safe. And one thing that did happen with the new Microsoft Service Pack 2 that makes a big difference with Internet Explorer is they added a new zone. You know, I showed you the Internet zones and the trusted zones. There are a couple of other restricted zones and so forth. They added a new zone in SP2 called My Computer. And actually this solves to a great degree the browser hijacking issue because what happens is if in the My Computer zone, you cannot install anything. And so what happens is when a browser hijacker tries to run software on your computer, it gets stopped by Service Pack 2. So Service Pack 2 makes Internet Explorer considerably safer.
That's really, really good news.
Yeah,
I mean, I think spyware is probably the biggest plague on the computer at the moment.
I'd agree.
Once upon a time, it was viruses.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just making things
out of control.
unusable. Yeah.
And they're really, what's happening is it's kind of verging into the world of viruses. I mean, they're as bad as viruses. Have you ever had any spyware on your system?
Oh yeah. My dad actually.
What did you do? So he called you and said, "Help! You know, we got spyware on here."
And then I called Leo.
Did you put Spybot on there?
Yeah.
And did that help?
Yeah.
We recommend.
Because I've heard you mention that.
Yeah, Spybot's great. Adware's great.
What would Leo do?
But that's right. But moving away from Internet Explorer can make a big difference. Even I think with Service Pack 2, it's probably a good idea.
The only frustrating part, of course, is IE is so integral to certain. I mean, it has functions that people have built around.
It's
IE.
powerful.
Yeah.
And that's why it's problematic. People ask us about Firefox. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
What's the story of Firefox?
Firefox was spun out of actually wasn't it a Netscape project? So the Netscape engineers got.
Well, what
together.
happens when AOL bought Netscape? Remember that Netscape was the big competitor to Internet Explorer. Mark Andreessen, remember that? The IPO was the thing that started the Internet bubble in 1995. They went out, the stock came out and it went through the roof, and everybody said the Internet's the next big thing. Well, eventually the company didn't do so well because Internet Explorer came out. Microsoft was hot on their heels. Netscape got sold to AOL, and one of the things America Online did, which I admire, is they said, we're going to take the source code, the programming code, and we're going to give it away. We're going to what they call open source it and let the community continue to develop it. We may roll those development features back into Netscape. We may, not, but we're going to let them work on it. So there really was a fork in the road where Netscape continued as a commercial product, and there's now Netscape 7. But Mozilla, which was the open source version, continued that way. And there has been some cross-pollination, but really they're starting to diverge more and more.
I really still like Netscape. I abandoned it for a while.
You like Netscape 7?
I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm coming back to, I used to, cheer for Netscape, and then, of course, IE became very, very dominant, very, very strong. And then I got rid of Netscape 6 was a huge disaster.
It was terrible. But they went through a really bad time, yeah.
It did, but 7 is rock solid.
I think probably because of Mozilla's input, I would imagine.
I would bet you.
So we should say, anything but Internet Explorer will work, including Netscape, Mozilla, which is from Mozilla.org, Firefox, also from Mozilla.org. That's just like the baby brother. It's a smaller version of the full-size Mozilla. There's also Opera, which is very good. A lot of people use that. And all of those are safer because they don't have ActiveX and active scripting. That's the key on that. That's what makes them safer.
Where do you think it's going to go? Do you think IE is they're going to figure IE out?
No, you know what happened? What I'm told, and I haven't verified this with 2 sources and everything. What I've been told is that Microsoft got scared when IE got so powerful that it was possible for people to develop applications on the web that were every bit as good as Microsoft Office. And they said, wait a minute, we might be giving away our business of desktop software, very important to our business. Suddenly you can develop for the web. And not only that, if you can develop this stuff for the web, you may not even need Windows, right? So they said, we're going to stop development on Internet Explorer. It's too good. So they've really not made so many changes. We haven't done a whole lot to Internet Explorer in the last couple of years. And I think it was because it was too good. Hey, we're out of time. I can tell. You know how I can tell? Because I see Ken Gamble's name on the screen. Hey, if you have a problem with your personal confuser, don't whine, don't moan, don't yell. Just call for help. Be back here next time. We'll see you. Bye-bye. Oh, I see Hayden's name, too. Look, and there's Kelly and Malcolm. See you later. Yeah.